Today we're going to talk about OFA and a new program they have, Heartland Farm Link. Rachel, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me again a little bit more about OFA and this new Heartland Farm Link and where this idea all came from.
Great. So OFA is the Ohio Ecological Food and Farm Association. We're a membership organization of around 4,000 members here in Ohio and throughout the Heartland region, we're calling it. And we certify 1,000 organic farms in addition to providing education services, technical assistance, things like that. And what we found is, which we know nationally, the average age of farmers is 60 in Ohio, and it's different in other states, but it's very high. And what that means is that there are beginning farmers who are facing challenges getting into the market, finding farmland, and learning from those retiring farmers. At the same time, retiring farmers want to see the legacy of their farmland continue, whether that's the soil health that they've built up, the infrastructure, things like that. So we decided, like many programs across the country, that we were going to help beginning farmers by working on making those land links with retiring farmers. And that's where Heartland Farm Link came about. For a few years now, people have been calling OFA and saying, I need farmland, or I have a farm that I want to transfer to a beginning farmer. And we would take down some information and we would keep it in a paper binder, and if somebody called in, we would try to make these matches, but that is really inefficient, and it really relies on a person like myself knowing a lot about all of these people, and them taking the steps to contact us. So instead, we created a website called Heartland Farm Link that allows people to post profiles of their farmland or as a farmer of what they're seeking, and search those. It anonymizes some of the details, and then people can search and find, hopefully, each other to start making those farm links.
I would say that that's going to be a great resource for both our retiring farmers as well as our beginning farmers that are looking for land, because you know as well as I do, Rachel, a lot of that is going to start with developing those relationships to help see if those two individuals will actually be a fit for each other. So I see this as being a really great resource for both of those audiences we have here in Ohio. And you mentioned that you'd looked at other models around the country. So I would assume that maybe you could just tell us a little bit more about that process and how it all came together with Heartland Farm Link.
Sure. So some states, such as California and New England states, have been doing this work for a long time. California has a situation of land is so valuable that almost no one owns land, so it's a matching of leasers and lessees. In New England, the situation is a little different. There's a lot of farmland that's transferring that is actually pretty affordable for farmers, but they're big states, and it's hard to find. It's hard to know where those farms are and whether they have the infrastructure that you need. So across the country, people have been kind of doing this one by one. People have developed different kinds of websites, and just last year, Land for Good, which is a New England nonprofit, brought together people from around the country and had a land link clinic where we shared what we were doing, what was working, what wasn't working, and what are some best practices that might make this process smoother.
So you've taken these best practices that you've learned about in these models that have been working in other places and are bringing those here to Ohio, correct?
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great opportunity because while Ohio's not as big as, say, California, it still really could be difficult to find that retiring farmer that might be a fit for a new and beginning farmer. And so tell us a little bit more about how those matches might come together.
Sure. So what I want to spend a minute talking about what land linking isn't, because that's something that confuses a lot of people sometimes, that we're not attempting to be a real estate listing service. Real estate professionals are really important in this process, as are lawyers and accountants, in actually making farm transfers. But the first step is to find those potential matches. And that's what the Heartland Farm Link is starting to do, is to say, you're a beginning farmer and you've done your business planning and you know that you need land that can support maybe a regenerative agriculture model where you're going to rotationally graze this many cows and that many sheep and that many, poultry. And so once you have your business plan as a beginning farmer, you have an idea of what kind of land you need. But if you're a first generation farmer, for instance, or maybe you're new to Ohio, you might not have any idea who in the state is available with that kind of property. On the other hand, if you're a retiring farmer and you are wanting someone to continue the kind of work that you've been doing, say you have grain rotation that you've been working on for many years, and your land supports this 5 or 7 year rotation that really has optimized soil health, you want to find somebody who's really going to value that and take that over. And so that's where these profiles allow the users to explain what it is that they're looking for or what they have and search for each other. And then hopefully with the other additional resources that we have, we can make those matches start to happen.
Fantastic. So when we start looking at making these profiles, we could maybe talk a little bit, Rachel, about how does that process work and where do I start with that?
Absolutely. So when you go to heartlandfarmlink.org, the first thing you will see are 2 big buttons there, find a farm, find a farmer. So if that's something that you're looking for, you can start searching just by clicking those buttons or the links above with the same names. And when you do that, you'll be able to search, and we'll show you that in a minute. But if you make an account up at the top right, that will allow you access to further information, including the contact information of folks who've listed their land or their farming opportunity. So we do encourage people to make an account. When you do make an account, you can also choose to have the site automatically send you by email new listings. So instead of remembering, oh yeah, I'm thinking about that again and I should go check and see if there's anything new, you can opt in to have the site send you new listings once a week.
And Rachel, is there a charge for this service, or do I have to be a member of OFA to take advantage?
You do not, no. So it's totally free to list a profile, to make an account, to search through profiles. It's simple, we think, and like we said, updatable, so you'll be getting information regularly if you opt in. So we're really excited because the more people that use this, the more opportunities will be there for people to search through.
And so if I'm a new and beginning farmer and I've done my business planning, but I don't have ground yet, that doesn't preclude me from participating in this, correct?
Right. So that would, in that sense, you would be the farmer, and you would make a farmer profile, a land seeker profile, and you would say what you're looking for in terms of, are you looking for land in these counties or this region of Ohio or all of Ohio maybe? Are you looking for this, what kind of acreage are you looking for? What kind of infrastructure? Do you need housing? And then with both the farm listings and the farm seeker listings, there's a place for a description and pictures. Both of those make better listings. I have an example of those coming up.
Great.
But when you start, you might just want to explore and search properties. And in that way, you just click on the links and it kind of guides you through sorting the properties. So you may be looking for, what kind of farms are available around, the southeast. And you can choose that whole region and you will get, the farms would pop up there. You could choose by equipment or by acreage and scroll through the listings that way. They'll be available on a map and also with a text description.
And so that's, again, going to be a great resource, Rachel, for folks. One question I do have, would this be searchable on a county basis or a region basis or by zip code, or there, I assume, again, multiple ways to search?
Yeah, so the way we did it in Ohio is that we searched by region, so 5 regions which match the ODNR regions, and by county. So the counties are lumped into those regions, but you can, if you are certain that you want to be in Ross County, then you can search just in Ross County.
Fantastic.
I do encourage people to kind of open their eyes a little bit or open their mind to some different locations, because you don't know what's right over that county line sometimes.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about the profiles, I thought I'd give you an example. This is hard to read, but basically there are different categories that are going to list information about the land, about the farm, which is the equipment, the infrastructure like barns, well, water, soil type, and then tenure arrangements that you're looking for. So a farmer might be looking for someone to sell their land. They might be open to a lease or even a cooperative partnership of some sort. And the same thing on the land seeker side. Many beginning farmers know that they need to lease land for a while. They might want to lease to own. Those are all options that you can choose in the profile that you make.
And so then what would happen would, if I was going to do lease to own or just an outright lease, would that then only show me those properties that have that criteria in the land description? Is that correct?
If you search by that, yeah.
Okay.
At any time, anyone can browse all the listings to see what's out there, but you can also limit it by what your particular situation allows.
Okay. And so let's say I'm a beginning farmer and I'm on your site and I find a piece of property that I'm interested in. Then what do I do?
So if you're logged in, if you've made a free account, which is very simple, and you're logged in, you'll see a contact button at the bottom, or a contact form, and use that form, and that will send your information to the profile lister. So it's a little bit different than like a direct contact, but we wanted to be able to protect people's privacy, and that allows us to have a little spam filter in there, so you shouldn't be worried about getting spam from this site. We've done a lot to protect from that, but that first initial contact going through that contact form means that the property owner then will see your information if you're a beginning farmer and your interest, and be able to take the conversation from there.
And so those forms go back and forth between the beginning or new farmer looking for property and the farmer that has listed the property. So it doesn't necessarily go to OFA, and OFA then makes those connections. This is all housed within this Heartland Farm Link platform, correct?
Right, exactly, yeah. We do have access to that information, and if you've opted in, we may send you hopefully useful resources. But yeah, this takes it kind of out of the hands of us having to make those links, and puts it in the farmer's toolkit, so that they can really have some control and start those communication processes.
Fantastic.
So to show you a little bit more, to make these profiles really work, the more that you can do in your profile to add pictures and accurate description, the more enticing it's going to be. So in the one on the right, for instance, there's some beautiful photography, and it has complete information about what the farm has on it already, what kind of farmer they're looking for. The one on the left, without that much information, is probably going to lead to less engagement. So if you're serious about finding a farm or finding a farmer to farm your land, do take some time to create a good profile. We have some resources about how to do that too. Just want to say that if you get into a situation where you're, say, a landowner and something changes, you build a new barn, you can adjust your profile by clicking on that link up on your account link. You can edit your information, change it at any time. We really want to make this flexible and easy for folks.
Fantastic. So as a farmer, Rachel, and let's say, you know, that I don't update new infrastructure, something like that, how often should I then go back in and just review my profile and make sure that everything's still current?
So we actually have a 180-day, that's a 6-month limit on the profiles, and at that point it will automatically send you an email and say, hey, we see that you have this profile and nothing's happened to it in 180 days. Do you still want to keep it up, or do you want to take it down for some reason?
Okay.
And because we realize that if you're a busy farmer, you may create a profile and then maybe not think about it for a while. But it's possible that also you've sold the property, or you've found someone to lease the property, and you want to take that down to keep the site current. So it will automatically prompt you to do that.
And that'll keep your database really and the information really current within 6 months.
Yeah,
so
that's the hope.
Great idea.
Yeah. So I want to mention one more thing that you can kind of see on this adjust your profile slide. There is a section for resources. It's under the arrow a little bit, but there are land linking resources where we've tried to compile the best practices about how to assess land if you're a beginning farmer and you're walking onto a property, how to look at that land really critically and not just fall in love, but really assess whether it's going to be good for your farm business. We've put some information about writing a good lease, because that's important. We want to encourage people to have good written leases, not just handshake deals. And then some things about access to resources like financial resources, legal resources, so that when you are looking for a property or wanting to transfer it, you have what you need to support you.
And so just to be clear, this is not a buy-sell forum where I go and look for farmland to buy. It's a way to really match the best opportunities that are available for farmers that are retiring and new and beginning farmers coming up, and to start those conversations, but then they still need to go through the whole legal processes of all those other things that go with buying or selling a piece of property, correct?
Absolutely. And we're excited to be able to offer some support for that with standalone workshops and conference sessions. So at our annual conference in February, we'll have some information about land transfer and some farm viability workshops that will help people make those leases and those agreements and business plans that are really necessary.
Great. Well, Rachel, we really appreciate you being here today and sharing all this great information with our viewers. If they want to get a hold of you for more information, how can they do that?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me at rachel@ofa.org, or the phone number listed on the screen there. I'm available for technical assistance, and if people need help creating a profile, using this site, accessing our educational offerings, reach out to me. And then if you have anything specific about the Farm Link, again, the address is on the screen, as well as the Farm Link specific email address, so that you can email someone there.
Well, Rachel, thank you again for joining us today and sharing this information about this new program available for new and beginning farmers and retiring farmers. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.